Right, so let's talk. So today I want to talk about vaccines. So I don't know what the case is in the US, but in the UK we have vaccines that our children have to have. I think you have like 3 or 4 throughout your school life, but I'm trying to stop my kids having it, because when you really think about it, you're letting a stranger put God knows what into your child's bloodstream. None of you, or very select few of you, know what actually is in that shit that they're injecting into your kid. But yet you all just hand over your child and be like, yeah, because they program you to think that they're going to get all these diseases, when the majority of them men. So they're fear mongering, but you just be like, yeah, take my kid, inject them, do what you want. You're essentially putting your kid in a fucking lab. They're a lab rat. So I'm trying to stop it with my kids, as I said, but all the other side of my family don't understand this. But you're going to have moments like this in life where you're going to go against your family members and fight for shit that you believe in. If you believe in something strongly enough, it don't matter if they're family or not. You got to fight your cause. And you got to get to a point where you ain't worried or care enough about if they disagree with you on it or not. Because if you're trying to do the right thing, then fuck them. But a lot of you have got to get to that point for something to happen, and then you to realise it, and then that's going to tell you whether or not you believe in something strongly enough, and whether you're willing to go against family members and people close to you that disagree with you on certain things, because they're trying to talk you out of it and come to their terms and their views on it. So, but you've got to stand your ground. Now, there's been cases in the US, I think, and probably in the UK, where kids have had one of these vaccines, and the kids ended up a paraplegic in a wheelchair for the rest of their life. Brain damage, fucking nerves, the nervous system shutting down, all fucking types of shit. Cancers. And that stemmed from having that vaccine. If they didn't have the vaccine, they'd have been alright. Another thing as well, there's a ton of people that ain't getting their kids vaccinated anymore, and their kids have never been ill and never had no problems. Now I know everyone's different, but the mass majority don't need to be taking these vaccines. And you've got to remember, pharmaceutical companies are one of the richest businesses in the world. The profit they gain from these things is like unmeasurable. Same with like chemists, pharmacies. They're a company. They make profit off of people's health. These drugs don't help. A lot of these drugs don't help people. They prolong shit. They might take the pain out of some shit, but they're doing other shit to your body. As I said, it's business, and they make a lot of profit from it. That's why they do it. Probably get very few doctors that are in a job, not necessarily because they probably got into it because they wanted to save someone's life, but in order to keep that job, they got to sell people lies and sell them pharmaceutical drugs, because people are then going to be scared that they're going to die of something. Now, it's bad enough when it's you, an adult, or a family member, as I said, but when it's your children, you really need to think about it more. People are just handing over their kids to get needles stuck into them. This shouldn't be like hard to explain to you. It should just be basic knowledge, basic logic. Why do you feel alright for some stranger to come and stick a needle in your kid at certain times when they just feel like they should? And they do it all within a matter of weeks around the country in schools and that. So they can then tick off their list. They'll be like, we've done our job. We've got the kids to get injected. The parents have consented it. Jobs are good. But, as I said, there's cases where kids have turned into vegetables because they've took these vaccines. A lot of these kids... another thing as well, why ain't the kids got a say in this? I don't believe that a kid... Like, your parents... Okay, I get it, till 16, maybe 18, depending on your beliefs. You need to guide your child, and they can't have a say in everything that they want to do. But when you're injecting a chemical into that person, they should have a fucking say and a right to if they want it or not, regardless of what the parents say. I just don't understand how so many people are okay with letting some stranger getting paid by these companies or through the NHS to inject your child with chemicals that you don't know anything about. And it happens every year. I'm gonna try fight this shit. But who knows? It might only take one jab and they're fucked then. Like, this shit stays in your system for life. And it could take years to kick in, but it's going to kick in. So, you need to decide, is your child's health more important than your fear of what could potentially, some disease that they could contract that is on a minuscule scale, that is a high possibility, almost like 1 in a fucking trillion or some shit, that they're never going to get anyway. But you get programmed to think, oh, there's this new epidemic sweeping the nation because it's all on the news and you lot are stuck to the TV watching it, fear mongering, and now you're like, oh, quick, get up, quick, I'll give you my kid, inject them with whatever needs to be injected with to put my mind at ease. Comes down to ignorance and panic and selfishness on the parents' part as well. So I'm not trying to have a go at anyone, but just think about it more and then make your decision. But I know for me, it doesn't sit right with me knowing that some stranger is just going to come and inject my kid with something. Why is that okay? Unless they've got like a very once in a lifetime or rare disease that they actually need a chemical for to like balance it out, or do you know what I mean? Which in most cases is not the case. It's the fucking, you better have this in case you get this. Do you know what I mean? It's a fucking lie. And it's another way for them to control us. So, not too upbeat today on this one, because this is like the future generation coming through that we're just handing over. It's bad enough that they're in schools getting programmed. Now we're letting people inject them. We got to draw a line somewhere.